Hello everyone, and now we come to lesson 2 of unit 2. Today we are going to talk about a very important thing. It's fever. Kindly prepare your books on pages 22 and 23 in your learner's books and 18 and 19 in your activity books. What are we going to learn today?
Listening, listen for specific information. Speaking, talk about being ill, talk about charities. Reading, read an information text. Writing, complete questions. Critical thinking, work with graphs. Study skills, using visual clues to predict the content of a text. Language focus, quantifiers. Vocabulary, fever, temperature, infection, disease, infect, tropical, mosquito, parasite, vaccine, net.
So today we are going to first revise something. Do you remember this, the illnesses and their symptoms from last lesson? We need to revise them. Both the video, try to remember what you've learned about them. These are the illnesses, what were their symptoms? Take your time. Okay, so let's get back. A sore throat, what were the symptoms? Yes, lost voice. How about the stomach ache? Tummy hurts and feel sick. How about a cold? Blocked nose and a runny nose. How about a fever? Yes, we started shivering, no energy and sweating. How about headache? Head hurts and a cough? Yes, you've got a chesty cough. Alright, so these are the illnesses and symptoms we've learned last lesson. Let's talk about it. Fever. What is a fever? Try to think, try to remember, try to know about. Do you know anything about a fever? Yes, let's listen about it.
A fever is when our body temperature increases because of an infection. A normal body temperature is about 37 degrees Celsius. If you have a fever, it can rise to 40 degrees Celsius or more.
Now it's your time of speaking. I like to start with you. You express yourself. You try to apply the things we learn on you, on yourself, on your life. So, fever. Have you ever had a fever? How did you feel if you ever had? How long did it last? Both the video, try to remember such things. Try to speak about it. Kindly, if you are not going to do what I'm asking you to do, to stop the video and to speak about something or write something, this is going to be just like a boring movie. It will not benefit you. So to make it useful, you need to pause the video and start using your abilities. Even it's challenging. The more it's challenging, the more you are going to learn and think. Thank you. Back. Let's check our strategies for making predictions. Today I want to teach you something, how you would understand what this very big or long text is about. One of the strategies that help you to make predictions, to understand the text, is there are maybe 1, 2, or 3 of these. Let's see together which ones would help you. You guess first. Look at pictures. Looking at a picture, will it help you to try to understand or to know what this is about? Read the whole text in detail. Look at the type of text, magazine, article, leaflet. Yes. Very often, texts are accompanied by pictures. Why they put pictures? What is the purpose of the pictures? Yes, they show what the text is about. What other things can help you find out what a text is about? Yes, titles. Titles would tell you what this is about. If you read the title fever, so we are going to speak about fever. So now, which one of the three will help you? Of course, looking at pictures and look at the type of the text. Now, I'm going to show you a text with pictures and a title, and big titles actually, and tell me if they help you or not. Look here. Look at the photos. What do you think the text is about? Look here and there. Look at these titles. Yes. So now, reading the titles, what is malaria, and seeing these mosquitoes and this net for mosquitoes, so now you know what this text is about. Now, let's try another strategy to try to understand reading. One of the strategies of reading is making predictions. Before we read a text, we can use visual clues to help us identify what a text is about. Look here. I have switched the text from your book. It's not the same in your book. In your book you have the text and then the questions, but I just put the questions first. Why is that? Reading the questions first is one of the strategies that help you understand the text better. How is that? Because they give you ideas about what you are going to read. And once you start reading, it's not something you don't know. You know something about this text. For example, here, let's read the first 6 questions first.
1. Malaria is unusual in hot, tropical countries. 2. Malaria is a deadly disease. 3. Mosquitoes carry a parasite which causes the disease. 4. A high temperature is a symptom of malaria. 5. There are a lot of vaccines which prevent malaria. 6. Mosquito nets help stop malaria infection.
Now, even if you don't know all the words here, but at least there is one word that's repeated in all of them. Malaria, malaria. So now, at least
million people every year. It is most common in hot tropical countries in the Americas, Asia, and Africa. 1 person dies every second from malaria. What causes malaria? A lot of mosquitoes in hot tropical countries carry a parasite which causes malaria. When a mosquito bites a person, the parasite can get into the blood. They don't need to infect much blood to make someone very ill. What are the symptoms? If you have malaria, you will experience many symptoms, such as a high fever, headaches, and being sick. How can we stop people getting malaria? Although there are plenty of vaccines which protect us from diseases, there is no vaccine for malaria yet. So all families need to sleep under mosquito nets which are treated with chemicals that make the mosquitoes stay away. For families with little money, an organization called Malaria No More does a lot of work to get mosquito nets to them. The nets are so big that several people from the same family can sleep under one net. This means that more people can live a healthy life, free from the disease.
now we come back to the same questions. So what did I do? Yes, I started with easy questions to tell you how important it is to read the questions. And now we are going to go here to look at the sentences and say if they are true or false. Now you listen to everything. So let's say, malaria is unusual in hot tropical countries. Is it true or false? It's false. It's usual. It's not unusual. Alright? How about if it's a deadly disease, is it? Yes. Can mosquitoes carry parasite? Yes. High temperature is a symptom of malaria? Yes. There are a lot of vaccines which prevent malaria? No. Mosquitoes' nets help stop malaria infection? Does it? Yes. Now we are going to go to your activity book. We are going to read and choose the best title for the article. This is different now. We are going to read the text first and we are trying to see the best title for this. Is it stomach upset, the flu, non-stop sneezing? Let's see. Take your time, pause the video, read the text, and then you can resume. We are back.
Read and choose the best title for the article. Elite stomach upset with the flu, see non-stop sneezing. Have you ever had a fever, a bad cough, a headache and an aching body all at once? Well, if you have, then you've probably had the flu at some time in your life. Flu, which is another name for influenza, is caused by a virus and it's common, especially in the winter months. You might think you have a cold instead of the flu because many of the symptoms can be quite similar, such as a runny nose, sneezing and coughing. But children with the flu often have a fever and headaches. You don't feel like eating much food either and all your body hurts. The flu can last a week or more. Catching the flu is very easy. If you are near a person with the flu who sneezes, coughs or even laughs, then the tiny drops that come out of their mouth can infect you if you breathe them in. So, how can you protect yourself from getting the flu? First of all, keep your distance from someone with the flu. Wash your hands regularly with hot water and soap, and don't put your hands to your mouth or nose. If you catch the flu, you should get a lot of rest and drink plenty of liquids, such as water, juice and soups. You can take some medicine too, but only if your mum or doctor gives it you to help with your fever and headaches.
So now, what is this text about? Of course, it's the flu. If you look at the symptoms here and the way you should keep yourself healthy, is it the same like other infections we have today? Something called coronavirus. Yes, it's the same like coronavirus and the same advice here for coronavirus. And I hope that once you take this lesson, you try to apply it on it, and we are going to have it later, inshallah. Now, read the text again. Use the colored pens to underline the three illnesses in blue, and the four symptoms in red, and the advice given if you have the flu in green. Both video, try to do it in your book and get back. We are back. The three illnesses: flu, cold and fever. The symptoms and the advice. Now we get to grammar. Countable and uncountable nouns. Look very carefully at this because this is very important and you are going to study it every year. What is the difference between countable and uncountable nouns? Countable nouns means you can count them. Have a singular and plural form, like for example you have a tree, you can say more than one tree, so you can say 2 trees, 3 trees. So they have got a plural. For example, here you say the book is old, the books are old. Uncountable nouns, you can't put them in a plural. For example, you have sugar. You can't say 2 sugars, alright? and so on. You can say 3 rice, no way, bread. Okay, so you can't use a or an or any number before them. This is the difference between countable and uncountable. Countable nouns, you can count 1, 2, 3. Uncountable, you can't do this with them. For example, water. You can't say 1 water, 2 waters, and so on. Here for uncountable nouns, it's very important. Why? Because sometimes some people would miss with them. So for example, love. You can't count love. Freedom, education, luck, the abstract ideas that you can't touch. If you are talking about your feelings, you can't touch it. Liquids, gas, all these things like milk, water, oil, you can't count them. Also, the things that are very small, like sugar, rice, salt, sand, flour, and so on. Also some materials like wood, glass, paper, gold, all these you cannot count. And some food like bread, fish, cheese, chocolate, you can't count. So we have things that may cause problem to you. For example, you've got money. Money, you can't count money. Yes, the word money, but you can say real, pound, dollar. But money itself, the word money, no, you can't count it. Luggage, you can say a bag, suitcase, but you can't say that you count the bag, and so on for the other furniture. You can say chair, bed, but you can't count furniture. All right? Some, any, a, and an. We have this for revision. We don't have this year. We had it last year. But for revision, the a must be followed by consonant sound. We say sound, not letter. All right? And an and vowel sound. And do you remember the vowels? A, E, I, U. This face, it's vowels. If it has got a consonant, you use a above. And if you have vowels, these 5, you use an. This is an apple. Some and any. What is the difference between some and any? Both of them are used for a plural, not one, more than one. For both countable and uncountable nouns. Some is used for affirmative sentences. For example, there is some cheese in the fridge. Any is used for negative sentences and questions. For example, there isn't any cheese in the fridge. Is there any cheese in the fridge? We come to quantifiers, and they are called quantifiers. Why did I explain countable and uncountable? We studied them last year, but you needed them for this lesson today, quantifiers. Why do we say quantify? Quantifiers. Because they quantify or express as a quantity. If I say there are a lot of mosquitoes in hot countries, so a lot of is giving you information about the quantity. How much is it? For example, if I say little money, so this is also give you an idea about the amount of money, all right? Plenty of, all, and so on. Here we have this one, but I have better one. I have better one here. Quantifiers, the meaning, countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Little means small. Few means small, but what is the difference? Little for uncountable and few for countable nouns. You say little water, few boys. A lot of for both, it means large number. Many and much also, a lot of, many and much, all of them means a large number, and plenty of too. But we use a lot of for both. We use many for numbers or countable nouns, and we use much for uncountable nouns. Any means never or all. We use for both, and lots of we use it for both, and some we use them for both. We talked about any and some, and let's see the difference here. A lot of for positive sentences, many and much for negative sentences or questions, any for negative sentences or questions, and some for positive sentences or request. Would you give me some water? It's a question, but it's your request doing something. Now, circle the correct answer. Use the information in the table to help you. The information in the table. That's why I modified it with a better one. Okay? So you are going to take this, we are going to work. Don't eat many or much food if you have a fever. You can't count food, so you say much food. You are going to go back, read, and then you are going to answer these questions. It's very important. Here, why do we use little? Because we have soap. Alright? Wash your hands with water and a little soap. You say need much, plenty of tissues if you have a cold. We say much of or plenty of. Yes, we say plenty of. If you have medicine, you will feel better. Medicine. Any medicine or some medicine. We say this is for negative. So it's some. How much days or how many days? Days, you can count days. So you are going to use many. Can I have any or some cough medicine, please? Can I have some? Because I told you this is a request. Now we are going to go to your activity book. Use the 5 quantifiers highlighted in the text in activity 1 to complete these sentences. There are a lot of cases of the flu in the winter. How about 2? You shouldn't eat, but you should drink water if you have a fever. What? Much and plenty of. You shouldn't eat much. People suffer from a sore throat in the winter, alright? Many. You should take, this should be capital. You should take medicine, yes? Alright, some. Now we are going to talk about that. What do you think of the charity Malaria No More? This organization that helps the people. Do you know any of these charity institutions in your country? How do they help? Try to search for this. You ask your parents, try to know something like that. Let's go on here. Now we are going to listen, copy and complete the graph showing how Coach's temperature rose and fell when he had the flu. If you get into an international test, you may have a diagram or a graph like this. So you are going to listen to the text, the audio, and you are going to try to draw the line here. Let's listen.
Track 9.
I started to feel ill in the evening. I had a headache and I felt a bit sick. Mum took my temperature, but it was normal, 37 degrees centigrade. I started to feel much worse during the night, and when Mum took my temperature at 7 a.m, it had risen to 37.5 degrees centigrade. By 8 a.m, it was 38 degrees centigrade. I felt terrible and was sick a few times. Between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m, my temperature rose to 39.5 degrees centigrade. At 11 a.m, Mum called the doctor. She said I should drink a lot of water, get some rest and have some medicine. She also said I should have plenty of fresh air in my room to keep me cool. Between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m, my temperature dropped to 37.5 degrees centigrade, and then I started to feel a bit better.
Now this challenge, complete these sentences for you. Write 2 examples of your own using your quantifiers. When I have a cold. So this is for you. You are going to talk about yourself. Alright? For extra material, you can use your mobile phone to scan this for countable and uncountable nouns. Or if you want to play a game about countable and uncountable nouns, you are going to use your mobile phone and scan it with your camera. Just scan it with the camera the same way we talked about. Also here, if you want to know some information about about a or an, you are going to also scan your camera. Once you just put it like this, and here we go, you find yourself on this side. Okay, so here, if here you are going to find some games, you are going to choose the best answer, and you are going to get the results immediately. Thank you very much. I was happy to be with you.